Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Presented by Scott Credit Union, your St. Louis Blues.
Also, the BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. How are you all doing? Sorry, I guess there'll be some people here. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and this is the BlueNote Fan Report, where we talk about hockey. And today we're going to talk about hockey and life. We're just going to kind of leave it an open show. I'm not going to go into anything in particular. Just let you guys talk, kind of a Friday, and see where things lead. I know I've heard for some people, and Ashley reached out to me and said that there were a bunch of people worried about me, and I appreciate it and thank you. It just sometimes you have to go through something. And that's what's happening now. I'm going through something. I'm going through something extremely, extremely personal. That's what it is. Yes, John, you were right. The Devils are up 1-0 on the Knights and are on the Avalanche, and the Knights are up 4-0 on the Anaheim Ducks. Right? They were showing the visitors' locker room for the new Oh, Shucky! Hi, man. Way to go. Congratulations. The Delta Warriors. The Delta Warriors, baby. They are on first place after the first day of the tournament. They are 1-0-1. They were down 3-1 and came back in the third and tied the game up 3-3 and then won their second game. Dudes, way to go. Very, very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. Chris, I can't say anymore, man. I really am. I don't want to say that it's good, but it's not as bad as it was. I'm not going to say anything bad about the person that this, was connected to this. I will not do that. I will not do that. Okay. I don't know how to say it. It's just, it is what it is. It happened. Some things have been said about me. I've been villainized in some places, and you know what? That's fine. If that's what you need to make yourself feel better, then you do that. That's all I can say. I wish you well. I wish you well on your road to recovery. I really do. And that's all I can say. It's, you know what? If you want to know what's going on, I got hip checked by Bobby Plager. I got hip checked in open ice by Bobby Plager. One of them flip type checks. And you know what? Some guys got up from it, some guys didn't, and it's taken me I'll get up from it. It's going to take me a little bit. Right? That's what it is. It's just going to take me a little bit. Bruins are up 4-0 on the Blue Jackets with 13:49 to go in the third. Devils, like I said, are up 1-0 on the Avalanche with 13:59 to go in the third. The Islanders are up 3-2 on the Hurricanes. There's two games later tonight. The Knights over the Ducks. That's a final. There we go. Hey, Jason Nichols, how are you doing, my friend? Hello. I'm going to do the best I can, guys. I'm going to do the best I can. We'll talk for a little bit. We'll see how things go. If people want to stick around for a little bit, or you got something you want to talk about, go ahead. I apologize for yesterday. I've deleted that show. Um, my head wasn't in it. My heart wasn't in it. I was sorry. I broke down. I broke down. What happened yesterday and today just really um, took me to a new level and one that I never expected I'd have to go to. I guess I was naive. Um, I want to, man, I do not want to say anything bad. I just got to get up, but I'm not going to say anything bad. That doesn't do anybody. That doesn't do me any good. That doesn't do the other party any good. It doesn't do anybody any good, right? I don't know if the other party maybe, on YouTube anybody can watch. I can't block anybody from watching YouTube. So maybe they got somebody spy watching me on YouTube. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't go there, right? I'm not going to go there, right? I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to try and get myself better. Take care of my recovery because, that's important to me. It wasn't important to anybody else, but it's important to me. I'll take care of my recovery and go from there. Take care of my recovery and go from there. That's all there is to it. You know what? The schedule. See, I'm not as worried about the 3-3 start. The schedule. I was surprised they started 3-0. To be honest with you, the schedule has everything to do with that. Right? The schedule has everything to do with them being 3-3. Right? I mean, everybody else by this point have their legs, and the Blues don't. They're 2 games behind everybody. Right? Maybe now they're 1 behind some, but for the most part, let me take a quick look at this because I'm having trouble. I still have trouble seeing. The Blues have played 6 games, right? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the Western Conference teams have played more than 6 games, right? The Coyotes have only played 6, and the Flames have only played 6. Everybody else, maybe I miscounted. Coyotes, yeah. So of the 16 teams, I didn't get the 3. So 13 of the 16 teams have played more games. And we're just catching up now. That's got a lot to do with it. Yeah, the NHL's got to fix that. These ESPN Plus only games, for some reason, ESPN Plus had said that it was going to be not blacked out, but it was blacked out on ESPN Plus, but not blacked out on Hulu. That's kind of a funny one, a weird one. It is what it is. Where are we at here? I'm trying to do something. I don't know what I'm trying to do anymore. Let me see. Da 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 da. My messages are all messed up at the moment. 1, 2. I'm trying to find something, guys. Give me a moment. Here we go. The NHL, this switch to ESPN and that did not help the Blues at all, to be honest with you, or the NHL at all. Oh, Ryan, I'm sorry, man, and I'm sorry that I came out as bad as I was. Oh, no problem. No problem, Ashley. It's okay. Where are we at? Kyler says, "How are you?" I'm doing as best as I can, man. I'm doing as best as I can. Yeah, it is too early to worry. I agree. Uh, I watch it on ESPN Plus. Definitely worth $9.99 a month. I agree. When you're out of market, it does. Somebody saying hi, guy. I'm not 100% sure who that is. Let me find out. Oh, Jose. Hey, Jose. How you doing, my friend? Welcome, buddy. Welcome. Uh, talk at you here for a minute, no problem. Kyler, I'm going through something extremely, extremely personal. Okay, and you know, it's just it is what it is. I'm dealing with it as best as I can. You know, I got hip checked by Bobby Plager in open ice. And you know, some of those guys that got hip checked got up right away. Some didn't get up at all, and some it took a little while. Well, right now it's taking me a little while. Right, and it's going to take a little while, and I hope you guys understand that. You know, um, yesterday it was when it all came about, and it crushed me. It crushed me, and I couldn't handle it at the moment. It just got to the point where I couldn't focus. I couldn't do what I was going to do, and that's all there was. I think they play all the games except nationally televised. So the TNT games they don't play, right? You know, I appreciate that, Kyler. I really do. And Jose, I appreciate it too. I will, you know, um, just a life lesson in life. You know, even at the age of 54, I'm still going to learn life's lessons. You know, that is what it is, right? I can look at this different ways. I can look at it, you know, in a negative light and go, there you go, failing at something else. Or I can look at it in a positive light and say it's a life's lesson, and it's time to move on. Right? I mean, you can say, you know, and everyone thinks that moving on is very, very easy, and it's not. It's not. Right? You know, when things like this happen, they talk about the 5 stages of grief, and I get that. But what I didn't expect was I went through all 5 stages at one time. I mean, and in a continuous loop. Right? It was. I mean, I was bouncing back and forth. I went through everything. One 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 step. I mean, one of the stages to the next. Right? Bouncing all around. There were all kinds of stages I went through. Right? I mean, it's just, you know, guys, it is what it is. Get about him, and the stages are more difficult for each person. Yeah, you know, you're right. Right? It all depends how people handle them, or you know, different types of things are have different effects. You know, what see, and I hope you, Kyler. I understand. You know, losing a parent is very, very hard, and I lost my natural father in 1983, my freshman year of high school. Very early in my freshman year of high school. Um, was estranged from my natural father. I will say that. Had not seen him very much. Hadn't been around him very much. Uh, and you know, when I went to that funeral, I couldn't cry. I didn't cry. Okay. Um, when I went to my biological grandfather's funeral, didn't cry. When I went to my maternal grandfather and maternal grandmother's funerals, I didn't cry. For me, death is not a sad event. When my best friend died, when two of my best friends died, I really had a hard time crying. right? I didn't cry. I mean, it's when I cry, it's almost like I laugh, right? Almost like I laugh, and it's very very fake almost. So I try not to cry ever, and you know, what can you expect? So for me, I don't go through the stages of grief with death. I don't. For me, they just death is a natural part of life, and I've lost a lot of friends, military friends. I had a guy die of cancer. I mean, he went from I don't feel good to the grave in 3.5 weeks. It was that quick. And this guy was really really important to me, and I just went through the stages of grief differently than everybody else did. I accepted his passing almost instantly. Almost instantly I accepted his passing. This thing that has happened to me, I haven't accepted. I haven't accepted. I've done the other things. The Springfield Thunderbirds are up 5-4. Alexei and Durandov had a power play, a hat trick tonight. I was keeping in front of that. And this thing that hit me, while it should have been expected, I was too blind to see that. Oh, here we go. If you deal with Bob the Tickle Monster, you'll be okay. Hang in there, brother. Bob, look, man, probably closer to your wife, fake, right? If I played, I have a recording of me cry. I don't want to play it because it's embarrassing, but no, it is. And my crying is very can come off as very fake, right? And I know that. I know that. And Bob, Bob, you found me almost immediately after I started doing. I think you bit Bob. I think Bob Morton has been with me from when this was. Bob, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think when this was just a pregame rant, you started watching it, and when I changed it to a view from afar, you started watching it. And then you've been with this show almost from the very very beginning through almost every aspect of it. I think I'm right. I mean, at least it feels like that to me. How does crying compare to your singing? Oh, actually, you know what? I deleted that. I did delete it. I don't have it. Um, I yeah, I pretty sure that I've deleted that, and it's not here anymore. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So yeah. I don't have it anymore. Let's just say that my singing is probably a little bit better than my fake crying. It just is what it is, you know. Is this show there? Oh, absolutely, Ryan. That's how it started, right? That's how it started. Oh, and I appreciate it, Bob. Uh, John says, Guy, a man who doesn't cry and scary emotion is not a man at all. You're an announcer for St. Louis Blues Hockey Club. Don't let people walk on your heart. You're a good man. Dump those idiots and move on. Well, it's sometimes easier said than done, my friend. That's sometimes easier said than done. I mean, I was in the group before the cup run, but not on as early as Bob. Yeah, I think Bob's been here. Yeah, really, it started with your outburst, and I was concerned. Been with you since, man. Not going any. Oh, what outburst was that, Bob? Which one was that? Even if it's on a megaphone shouting in the air, yeah. Which outburst was that? Was that when one of the groups had told me, or was that when I cussed out somebody? Right? I think there was one where someone called someone a retard, and I cussed them out. That was like one of my earliest ones. It wasn't a video; it was a audio recording, but I can't find it. Not even close. Oh, you're fine, John. You're fine, John. Don't worry about it, man. Big Bob is a sophisticated fella. Yes, he is. You know. There's a lot of outbursts. Yeah. Guy does have a lot of outbursts. Wow. One of the shows, one of my early shows, I mean, I really went off cussing. It was the first time I cussed, and I mean, I MF'd and all of that stuff. This was really early. This was even before I started doing the editing, video editing, right? Adding pictures and all that stuff, and before I started doing that. It's kind of, it is what it is, guys. A big thank you to Dale Clunk, Jose Figueres, Aaron Coulter, Kyler Terry, Stephen Glass, Joe Butler, and Jason Nichols for putting that thumb in the air on Facebook. I graciously appreciate it. I didn't share the show today. I didn't. I just put it where the regular ones, and that's where I left it, life back in 18 or so, I think you could be right. No, it was in 18. It was in 18 when I started. So I started in, it might have been or my depression one, something like that. I mean, I did a few in there back in 18. I started this in October of 2018, right? Well, hey, a lot of you guys don't know the story, right? Would you like to hear the story of how this started? Right? Would you like to hear the story of how this started? Right? I can do that. I can share the story of how this started. What's it going to take to make the NHL go to respect the Blues, what they are, and not? I don't know there, bud. I don't know. Okay. So in January, now it's a long story, a little bit of a long story. Okay. So, in January of 2018, well, but here's the thing. This connects a lot to what happened very recently. I met somebody online, and this person helped me realize that I might have had some mental health issues in late 17. In early 18, in January of 18, I lost my job, like January 5th. I got fired. And they sent me home for the day. They told me, you're going to work. I didn't get fired. I got laid off. So I had 2 weeks. They sent me home for the day. I made a comment to somebody that be glad I don't have a gun. And I meant that as me putting a bullet in my head. They took it to mean I was going to shoot everybody up. Had the police come to the house, checked my house for guns, immediately terminated me. I had to fight to get paid through the end of the year. And I ended up getting that. Because there was an overreaction. and I ended up getting paid through the end of the 2 weeks that I was supposed to. Um, and this person was helping me through it, and some things happened between me and this person and other people. And in February of 2018, it was, in fact, Bob, your boys did something. There was a memory you shared for this game. It was the Penguins game on a Sunday. The Blues paid the Penguins. They got beat really bad, like 4-0 or something. And John, you met me because I started doing lives I started doing some live, like intermission, like I'm doing now. Started doing some of that, trying to promote my show in the Let's Go Blues, or I think it's We All Bleed Blue group, right? And Brian, you're right, bud. And okay, where am I at? So that weekend of that game, I really, that whole weekend, I started. I was driving for Pizza Hut, and that Saturday night, while I was delivering pizzas, I constantly had this thought in my head: right foot, right turn, meaning put the foot on the gas, turn right into a wall or a post or something. Watching the game on Sunday, I walked to the refrigerator and thought that. The only thought in my head was 170 feet away from making all my pain go away. I was 170 feet, because basically I lived on the 4th floor, 21 floors, just quick bad math, but I could go to the top to the penthouse and take a few steps, just walk right off the side of the building. That's the thought process. Well, I collapsed. Ended up going to the hospital, and they recognized that I was in a little bit of a mental health crisis. And started some therapy. Therapy was going okay. I came home in March. I needed to get home for a while. I came home in March. Was able to connect with people. Some of them might still be here with me. I don't know. I doubt it. Well, actually, no. Some of them are still here with me. Some of them are still very good friends. So I connected back then. Some aren't. And then in July of 18, they switched out therapists at the military hospital. And because I was retired and they weren't going to have enough therapists, they dropped me. And the only thing that excuse me, Randy, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, man. They didn't trade him. Perron left on his own free will. Perron was offered a contract and did not negotiate with the Blues after that. They told him this is what we have, and his agent never contacted the Blues again. So, that's on Perron. He's trying to say something else, but that's on him. Right? To get back to where I was. So, I ended up since I lost my therapist, they said they talked to would I go to group. Now, I was terrified of group, but I decided to go. And while all this is going on, I knew about the 22 until none movement. So I started looking for Facebook groups that dealt with 22 until none. And I found one called 22 until none keepers. I joined that group. Was able to vent some things, talk about things, how I was feeling, things like that. They started helping me get, the people in the group started helping me fill out my paperwork for disability. I waited 10 years. It had been more than 10 years, right? That since I've been out, I got told when I was in that, you're fine. And then my mental illness and mental health was swept under a rug. And when I got out, felt I was fine. Didn't think that I was going to get any disability and walked away. Right? Because what happens when you retire, if your disability is under a certain level, under 50%, what they do is they take whatever that number is off of your retirement and just make it tax-free. So you don't get any more money. It doesn't do you any good almost. Once you hit 50%, then it becomes extra money. It becomes money on top. So from 40 down, it's just taken off. And once it goes above that, once you hit the 50, then it changes. Well, so that's, part of it. And, the other thing. So I started doing that, but I was absolutely terrified to go into this group. And I mentioned it in this group, in the 22 Until None. And they said, just talk about your group. Don't talk, you can talk about, don't say what you did, but tell how you felt about it and things like that. Thank you, sir. And in this 22 Until None, I started doing these Facebook Lives where, I do group update. Well, this was and my group updates were getting 50, 60 views, and I was feeling pretty good about it. Man, then I started thinking, and I had watched Let's Go Blues Radio before, and I started thinking, well, hey, man, there's nobody else really doing this, because at the time, they were the only ones I knew about. I didn't know about any of the other podcasts out there other than Jamie Rivers, right? The original podcast that he was doing with Reed Lowe and somebody else. I met the guy before. I can't remember his name. He's a coach for one of the colleges over in Illinois. Sorry. And, okay, where am I? So I thought, I'll do this pregame rant. And at one time I had wanted to write for Game Time, and I wanted to make my column called The View from Afar. I live here, So I started working with video editing, called my show A View from Afar. Realized that title really didn't work for a hockey show, and went back and asked some people, and then yes, Nathan, you are correct. You are correct, Nathan. Thank you. And then they had told me to call it the Hawaii Blues Fan Show, so that's what I did, and I found out about Layla. Layla was one of my first big episodes, like a 1-hour episode I did on Layla. I was posting in a group, and the group said, you can't post in here because you can't ask for likes and subscribes in our group. I put a video out about that, about how I was sorry. And for a long time, I never put like and subscribe my videos. They still told me I couldn't, doing what they asked me to do, they still told me I couldn't post it in there. So I started doing it again. And then, I was in that group, and I saw other posts in there getting allowed, and I got pissed off, and I put mine in there, and then they kicked all of them out. But, they were allowing others until I did it. So that is what it is. I pushed the show. I pushed it. Okay. But it was the Hawaii Blues Fan Show. I came home for my 50th birthday in 2018. And shortly after that, I just got to feel like the Hawaii Blues Fan Show didn't work. So I had always liked the name. Even when I was before I changed it to the Hawaii Blues Fan, I had said, I'm gonna make this. The BlueNote Fan Report was one of my things, right? Oh man, yeah, it was, I talked about depression pretty hard. Somebody in the group's brother had committed suicide, and it really hit me. And I did a video about depression. I really did. I remember that. Right. And so that's how this got started. So this was my therapy, right? Back in 21, I was working for a company, or no, in was it 20? No, in 20. I was working for a company, and when that company kind of let me go, it was too hard to, or when I was working for the company, it was too hard to do the shows. So I kind of went into doing like a live pregame show, and then people asked me if I'd come on at intermission, and that's how this all came about, right? So that's what happened. So that's how this all came about. So let me go back up to here. Getting back to the Blues, when in God's name, what in God's name, why would they Blues get rid of Perron? They have the second best power play in hockey, and the way and he was our number one scorer. He was not our number one scorer. Maybe he was the number one scorer on the power play, but he was not the number one scorer. He was like fifth. He was like fifth on the team, or sixth, right? We had 4 point per game players last year, and he wasn't one of them. Someone please explain why they would trade him. They didn't trade him. At the end of last year, if you remember the press conference, Berube said that we have talked to Perron and given him an offer of 2 years at $4 million each. He said that at the press conference, right? Now, I'm thinking in Perron's eyes that was informal and not a formal. But from what I understand, basically Perron's agent never called the Blues back and negotiated, right? Well, because so many people believe that that's what happened. That the interviews that Perron did made it seem like that. No, I'm answering the question. Just answering the question. Tarasenko was our top scorer. He had 34 goals and 82 points in 79 games. Right? He set career best for assists and points. Right? Oh, I got some new likes here. Ryan Green, David Talbert, and Ashley Jones. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you do it on YouTube, I greatly appreciate you. I don't get to see your name, so I can't do it on there. So I do apologize to you that I can't show it on there, but I do greatly appreciate you for putting your thumbs up and appreciating the show. Thank you so much. That's all I can say right now, where am I at here? I'm trying, I don't know. We'll check scores here in a bit. See if the Devils can knock the Avalanche down a peg. Tammy Pemberton, thank you for loving the show. Greatly appreciate you, Tammy. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you. All right. Stephen Glass says if he wanted to stay, he would have. And that's true. That's absolutely true. Right? Absolutely true. Completely true. Boy, I appreciate your guys' support today. I really, really do. Life went in a very bad direction, but I'm here. I'm here. That's all I can say, I could not be here, but I am. And what else is there to say? The struggle's the struggle, but I'm handling it the best way that I can. Trials and tribulations come up in life and you deal with them. Thank you. Granted, why didn't the Blues go after Perron? Blues offered $4 million and he went to Detroit. Well, again, it was on Perron. Perron never came back to Army. That's what's getting missed on this, Randy. Perron did not come back to Army. Army said this is what we got. Iran's agent didn't accept it, never negotiated. That's the logic here. It wasn't on Army. He offered the contract. And that's what I'm talking about, bud. It's not on Army. And I'll be honest, I still think that the money spent on Letty was better. I really do. Yeah, I think that's might have been what happened. Sounds to me like Perron was offended by the blue. They didn't have the money, man. There just wasn't the money. Well, I appreciate that, Randy. Nope, got to be here. The boys want you here along with everybody else. I appreciate that. Oh, there you go. It's Saturday already? Oh, that must be Stephen Glass in Australia. I am simmered. I'm not, my panties aren't in a bunch. I just get high. I get excited, that's all. That's just how I am. That's just how I am. And some people don't like that. I have an anger management issue. I do that. I absolutely do. I go from calm to angry like that. If you've been around me for a while, you know. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And I have a very bad habit of interrupting people. Here's one thing about me interrupting people. Right? I have very low tolerance for lies and bullshit. A lot of times that I interrupt someone is because they have a lie coming out of their mouth. Or it's bullshit. It's pure bullshit. And that's just what it is. Right. Things are what things are. Yeah. I'm kind of with you there, Ash. Things are what they are. With Perron, the things are what they are. I do. I do. And if you ever notice, a lot of times I'm interrupting them is because I'm stopping them at what they're saying because, they're no, you're not even in close. Thanks for filling in the blanks. You can probably tell I'm a big Perron fan. I know there's a lot of Perron fans out there. And half of Detroit is now the Blues. Yeah, they've got a lot of them. And a lot of people are calling the Red Wings the St. Louis. No, I call them the Blue Wings. I call them the Blue Wings, bud. All right, hold on. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, I think I got caught up with everything. That's just who I am. That's just how I am. And I apologize. That's it. Johnny Neal, thank you, buddy. Michael Edwards, thank you. If I'm a bitter pill, I'm a bitter pill. Right? If you don't like that, think about some of the announcers out there. Right? And Stephen A. Stephen A. interrupts people all the time. Yeah, you're right there. That's also true. That's also true. Right? That's also true. Very true. I get excited. I don't want that thought to get out of my head. Yeah. It's a bad habit, and I apologize for it. What can I say? Right? I do the best I can. Right? Life is what life is. People are going to treat you the way they're going to treat you. You have no control over that. um, you have no control over that. Randy, I would do that. I mean, I got a small room here. Hopefully it wouldn't get too hot, but I wouldn't mind. Um, I look, guys, I'm gonna be fine, right? I'm gonna be fine. Uh, I have mental health issues, right? I'm an addict. I've talked about it. I could relapse, any moment. Trust me, relapse has been the last 2 days, that's been very much on my mind, right? Very much on my mind. I get what you're saying, but Perron to me thought it was worth more. He thought he was worth more than Letty. Letty is younger and can play longer for the Blues than he could. So Letty, yeah, I'm with you. Maybe I'll do that, my friend. I'm not a big wrestling guy anymore. I kind of wrestling lost me, right? When by the time Steve Cold Stone Austin got there, and I know you probably love him, the wrestling went out for me. I'm old school, man. I'm Andre the Giant and Randy Macho Man Savage and Yokozuna, the Iron Sheik, the 1-2-3 Kid. Though I know he was part of that turned into the Bad Boys. When it really got bad. Hacksaw Jim Dugan. So that's when I was right. Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, see, that's where I am, Ashley, right there. Bret the Hitman Hart. Yeah, right. That what was that? WrestleMania 10, I think it was. Right. Was like considered the greatest WrestleMania of all times, and there's maybe like 5 of those guys that are still alive. Right. I think like Hulk Hogan is one. Hulk Hogan and just a few others, but the majority of them that were in there in that WrestleMania are no longer here. Right. Oh wow, that's cool, Matlow. That is cool. Right. I got the guy, I think his name was Herculaneum. He used to have chains all the time. They were the wrestlers stayed when they came to do a show, WWE show in WWF back then in St. Louis at Arena, I think. But they stayed, a lot of them stayed near the airport. Well, there was a hardware store near there, and Razor Ramon, wasn't that Scott Hall? And I'm missing now. He came in there to buy the chains. Came into Telschner Hardware to buy the chains, right? And I was there at the time. Yeah, Razor Ramon. I was right. Okay. I thought that's who that was. Give me the Giant and dozen midgets on the black and white TV. Try pulling that off today. Oh my goodness. Wow, boy, we have digressed again. Boy, this show fell off the rails quick. Coming right up on that hour mark. That'll probably be the end of it for me. The Von Ricks and wrestling, that's how I got, how far I go back. I remember them. I'm calling both games. Who's this? I'm trying to find out. Oh, I don't know. I'm not seeing where they're messaging me from. Oh, no, here, Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson, I'm calling both games. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Danny. Okay, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. What games are you calling, bud? All right. Never happened, brother. You will not relapse. You know where you have been and how far you've come. You will not give it up for a few hours of satisfaction. Love you, man, and love your show. Have been there before. Just keep talking Blue Sox. Yeah, I do the best. Oh, World Series. Okay. World Series. That's cool, man. That's cool, bud. I forgot all about the World Series being on. Hey, let's take a quick look at where we at, the scores today. Okay, we got a couple of finals. We talked about this earlier. We got 3 finals, or 4 finals. Woo. Okay, the Golden Knights defeated the Ducks 4-0. The Bruins defeated the Blue Jackets in the equal score, 4-0. Another shutout, the 3rd shutout on the day. The New Jersey Devils get a 1-0 shutout on the Avalanche, and then the Islanders beat the Hurricanes 6-2. Starting here in a little bit, the Penguins are at Vancouver, and at 10:30 or 9:30 Hawaii St. Louis time, the Jets are going to be the first team to play against the Coyotes in their college arena. Right? That's going to be interesting. Yes, sir. I am okay. Right? Thoughts on BG as goaltender? Grease did not. Again, the 2 games that Grice has played, he's been fine, and Bennington's been fine. Right? Bennington's played great. Right? Grice has played great. You know, you look at the game yesterday. Grice was making amazing saves. There were major mistakes. The first 3 goals he gave up were rebounds. Right? Were rebounds, and they weren't bad rebounds. They just happened to they go to the wrong player, but I thought he did really well. Bob and Matt Lowe are the Blues militia. Right? You know, I've talked at length about my addiction before. Not long ago, actually. And, you know, I don't need to be ashamed of it. Other people can be ashamed of it. I can't be. Because shame is what put me into it to begin with. Right? Yeah. You know, in the 3rd, when the wheels fell off, I mean, there was nothing he could do. I thought Grice was just fine. Right? I had no issues with Grice, and I've had no issues with Bennington. Right? I've had no issues with Bennington. None at all. Right? Bennington's numbers are still good. I appreciate that. Well, we've got tomorrow. Oh, okay. So some news and notes. I haven't always hated Bennington. I am critical of him when he doesn't play up to his standard. I am critical of him. Right? Oh my God! It looks like, I mean, it's like an auditory. It looks like an empty space where they just set up boxes for and chairs for the players to sit. It is no locker room at all. It is a makeshift locker room, completely makeshift. We'll get there. I mean, we're going to be back, right? We got Montreal tomorrow. The show is on at, what is tomorrow's time? It's 7 o'clock, so 6:30 your time. I don't know. I had something telling me it was earlier than that. I'll have to look at my app real quick to make sure I get the show times right. Well, it'll be 6:30. No, so it's 6 o'clock because this is Eastern. It's 6 o'clock, so the show comes on at 5:30, which is 8:30. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Which is God, come on, guy, you're really messing this up. So the show is at 5:30 your time. I'll be on. It's at 12:30 my time. I'll be on for that. I will not do a show on Sunday, but Monday's game against the Kings, I will not be on. I have an appointment when the game starts, so I will probably come on for post game for that. Right? That's probably when I will show up for that one. Thank you, Nathan. And Ryan's in the Blues Militia. Yeah, basement with chairs. That's it. All of a sudden, we went from looking the best to looking like the Jets in our win-run record. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, I think that's true too. Ashley did kind of beat me over the head on Bennington, right? Ashley did beat me over the head on Bennington. So that's what's going on for the tomorrow and the upcoming part. I will be here at 5:30 Central Standard Time. We'll do a regular show. I don't know who's going to show up. Is what it is. I'll do the best I can. The show will run pregame intermissions and that. Life is life. Things have happened. I'll deal with them. I love each and every one of you. Sorry for the kind of messed up show tonight. I hope you're happy. Betty Brower, Johnny Neal, Michael Edwards, Danny Green, David Talent, and so many others. Thank you so much for putting their names up there. I just can't see all your names, but thank you so much. Guys, have a wonderful night. Enjoy. See you tomorrow. Tell your friends about the Blue Note Fan Report. This is your Sports Open Line. It's where your opinion is just as important as ours. And we can't wait to hear it. See ya tomorrow night. Aloha.